Welcome to Slovenia, Janom Bluz. You're a director of documentary Underground Hope. So it's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too.
What was the initial purpose, motivation and drive to make this documentary?
Well, in the beginning it was like that in Poland. There were a lot of information regarding medical cannabis, but we wanted to, let's say, spread the proper knowledge regarding cannabis to show on one side that it's not just a dangerous drug and recreational thing, but we wanted to explain to the public that on the other side it's not a panaceum or medicine which could treat every disease. So we wanted to show two sides of the stories and to inform Polish society properly about the subject. For years I've been working as a journalist, and for me I came up to the moment that I wanted to make some independent journalistic project. And back in 2015, when I started doing the Underground of Hope, I've met some activists and people involved in cannabis thing in Poland. So yeah.
And how are you progressing now in Poland? We could see in a documentary that you have the most restrict in Europe.
Currently, medicines can prescribe marijuana, but still they are afraid, or they don't have a knowledge about cannabis. So that's the problem. Also, we don't have companies which grow cannabis indica in Poland. We have to import it from Canada. Particularly, only one company does it. So that's the problem, that cannabis is still not widely available to patients because it's expensive and it's not in each pharmacy. So patients still buy it on black market, and in that case they could be persecuted by courts. So we still have a lot of problems.
Because of prohibition, we rarely hear users' experiences in public. Probably it wasn't easy to expose for the people in a documentary and to tell their stories.
In some cases it was quite difficult for them to share their stories. In some cases they didn't care to admit that they do something illegal or to share their tragic stories. So it depends on particular person. Yeah, in some cases it was really hard to ask them to interview in front of camera and say so sad stories mostly.
The Underground Hope shows the need and suffering of too many patients who are prevented by law to treat themselves and to assess cannabis. How did you experience while making this movie all those stories?
Well, for me, a lot of these stories were very tragic and very sad because we showed stories of patients who didn't have a chance to try oil, to try cannabis because of bureaucracy. They died before they had such opportunity, or they died in suffering. So for me it was quite a difficult period of my life to work on this subject. It wasn't easy, and I still think that I need some time to let's say recover as an author, because it was traumatic for me as well to see such big amount of tragic stories.
Mm-hmm. Is Dr. Marek Bachanski, neurologist and physician in Poland who is acting in documentary, is he able now to treat patients with cannabis in Poland? Is he able to prescribe it?
Yes, okay. The situation of Marek Bachanski is like forced let's say, or sentenced his former employer that he has to return to his job in the institute, but he don't treat patients there. He's just allowed to do some examinations. But privately, in private practice, he does treat patients, and he prescribes cannabis, marijuana, and CBD to his patients. So yes, so basically yes, but in private practice, not in in institute where patients are treated by public health. Yeah.
Movie compares 4 countries. The situation of patients differs. Somewhere you can go to the prison for using cannabis, and somewhere you get prescribed. That's quite a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sad that in some countries like Israel or Spain, patients, have this opportunity to try it out, and patients in countries like Poland are aware that in some other countries there is such opportunity, and they don't have it in Poland. So for them it's especially tragic. Like you have, a child with illness, and you are aware that in Israel somebody could help you, but in your country they don't want to help you. So I think that's very difficult for these families, for patients.
Cannabis is classified as a drug that has no medical use. In 1961 was included in the Convention on Narcotic Drugs. Almost 60 years later we know about cannabis a lot more. Why do you think science today is ignored?
Politicians are ignoring science because it's easy and useful for them to still prohibit this plant. And why they do it is really complicated, and it's not easy to say, because I think that in some reason it's always, for politicians, it's always good to have, let's say, devil. Marijuana for them is a devil, and and to show that they want to prevent us, society, from something bad. Still, I think that legalization we can't stop the legalization, the process of legalization, and this train can't be stopped. I think that in 10 years, 20 years, our children, wouldn't believe that, for example,
this was happening.
Yeah, this was prohibited. Yeah.
Well, police takes away patients' cannabis for treatment during the process. And the World Health Organization says in the guidelines on human rights that withholding of drugs from those who need them for medical purposes is a form of a torture. Can any law justify a torture?
I think that the lawmakers are so huge ignorance that they don't, even care that it's some kind of torture. So that's the problem, that they are cut off from reality in such, huge way that they don't even care about particular person's problems. So
documentary Underground Hope was also awarded by public on the International Film Festival for Human Rights, Watch Dogs. What does this mean to you, this award of public?
Well, for me it was really important and really nice message I had from the festival, because in the day I received the email that we received this award, I realized that the movie is, people like it and consider it important. So it was really nice thing to hear after almost 4 years of work in this field. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations, and for sure the movie deserves it. It's a great topic, and It's perhaps for many an eye-opener what is going on in the middle of society.
Mhm.